Glory always wants to learn. And
I just have to share, and she is an amazing liturgical dancer. And if you never get a chance, when I'm doing meditation, I get the opportunity to see Chris and our wonderful Carolyn. Your name
and
is-
Valerie back there.
And Valerie. And what I just want to offer is that the liturgical dancing is amazing. And Glory and Chris started that tradition. And it's a tradition that I don't think many of us know that's happening. And I just wanted to say, and Glory, you inspire me when I see you. And it just inspires the meditations.
Is that like a static?
Ecstatic, yeah.
In a way, it is. It's allowing the energy of the moment, the energy of the space to direct your body. It's about listening to that. It's about flowing with that. And it is not so much as you're dancing to the music, you're dancing to the energy.
Right.
And it also allows you, through that motion, to help stabilize and support the
Yes.
energy that is here.
Right.
Because it's not just about doing something that is outward. You're taking in part of that energy is moving through you, and you're using your body to help stabilize and support the container, the energetic container.
That's why it gets frustrating when I go to concerts when people tell you sit down, because all I want to do is move, and when I dance, that's what I'm doing, is I'm moving with music.
Exactly.
So my hand dancing becomes the
Yes.
carrying of the energy. When I can't stand, I use my hands, because you're carrying that and you're directing and you're bringing it in and you're pushing it back out and you're feeding a lot of different energies and souls with that.
It's called being in your feelings.
Yep, being in your
Being in your
feelings.
feelings.
In
I
your
call it
feelings in the
emotional.
field.
I got an emotional thing for me.
Yeah.
So I get in my feelings with it.
Yeah, and it's wonderful to have a place that's safe, because sometimes people don't feel they can get up and move. So if you feel it during the announcements, go back there and just move around, that's fine. Alrighty, so we're gonna bring up Reverend Glory, because even though she loves being a student, she is going to share some teachings with us.
I love you all so much. Okay, so here's the thing, and my kids used to do this, but you'll see why. So, why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the other
That's
side.
on the other side.
Okay, and why did the chicken want to get to the other side?
More
To
food.
get a different viewpoint. Because the grass is greener.
More food.
More.
Because the ice cream truck was coming.
Oh,
At least you guys laughed. My son said nobody was going to laugh at that.
But we like ice cream.
I know. And you know, when I get up here, I'm all about that taste.
That's
Okay, I might as well put this down in my face right now because they tell me I need it, so yeah, it's got to move around. So, okay, so got my moving around. The way this subject came up, and you have a little Ayurveda that I
Not
have for you
everybody
today.
does. There were
Okay.
not enough in all of the bulletins,
Okay.
so there's a couple of people that may not, that can we share?
Yes, share.
Thank you.
And then for those of you who want the information, take it home with you because there is an implication for it. So one of the things that used to happen in my home is we'd be gathered around the table and inevitably somebody would tell a joke. We don't fall out laughing. I fall out laughing at everything, okay? My grandson told a joke one time. It says, how many pancakes does it take to cover a doghouse? And nobody could figure that out. We didn't know what size the doghouse was or anything like that. And so finally we're just looking at him blankly and he says, none, because an alligator has no fur. Well, I fell out laughing. I thought it was hilarious. And everybody's looking, what? And I'm over here just riotously laughing. So that's kind of my flavor of humor. So our subject today is, what's your flavor? And I've given you some things that are Ayurvedic about the sixth taste. And this message came about because my youngest son, who has just graduated with a master's degree in religious history, asked me one day when I was talking to him, do you know why there are so many different religions? And I had to think about that. And that's how this topic came about. So I called him one day this week, I think Friday or Saturday, Friday maybe. And I said, honey, why are there so many religions? Because I can't really figure that out. And he says, let me get back to you in just a little bit because I'm at work right now. And he called me back. And that's a one up, okay, on him. Okay, call me back, okay? In the same day, and within the same hour or so. And he told me this stuff, and I realized my son is educated. Okay, you know those places where you want to say, that's my baby. Okay, well, I said, well, honey, you know, that's all so wonderful, but it's a lot, and you're just going to have to break it down on my level, because it kind of went zing for Mama. He said, okay, he says, I'm going to send you something where you'll understand it better. And I says, well, let it be from your words, because I don't understand what's in the books. I didn't go to theologian school, okay? I went through experience, OJT, baby, on the job training, okay? My way of doing things. But this is what my son sent over, and I said, Lord, what am I going to do with this? So I actually did some stuff with this. All during the night last night, I didn't come to a static dance because I went to work on what I was going to work on. When I woke up this morning and I turned on my computer, Spirit said, no, 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 no. And I'm like, what? Really? Seriously? At this hour? What am I going to do? And he goes, you going to lean in, honey, and stay in your lane. I'm like, oh. Well, guess what? I live on Holy Ghost Lane, baby. I'm sorry if you can't handle it. Because I'm going to be on your level, on your street, waiting for the ice cream man and tell you what this is all about.
All right.
Okay, but I got to share with you what my son wrote. He said, at our deepest level, every human culture is religious, defined by what its inhabitants believe about some ultimate reality and what they think it demands from them. The reality does not have to be a personal God. It can be the iron laws of Marxism, the religion of blood and soil, the Gaia hypothesis, the church of the free market, the cult of the imperial self. But we all must serve somebody, as Bob Dylan said. And every culture does. But concerning what the ultimate reality is, rests in how we place our story in an overarching narrative, one that is transhistorical and redemptive. Through this narrative, we can find an answer to our sufferings and situations. My baby wrote that too. I'm so proud. I'm still trying to figure some of it out. I'm not quite on that level, but I truly, truly appreciate what Spirit does with us, okay, to bring us to the level that we need to serve. I was in the company of a lady one point, and she was kind of arguing text message back and forth to somebody, and finally she said, I just wrote back, know your audience. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to give this to you guys. Know your speaker. And know that I'm going to the kitchen, I'm going to bring some application to our practical everyday lives that we can take away from here and use somewhere. Now, later we have 6 tastes. And I read somewhere where there's estimated over 4,000 religions in the world. Yeah, that's a whole lot. I knew about like the 3 major ones, and I picked up a few along the way. So we've got Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hindu. I'm introduced to Druidry, and there was another one that I was going to reflect on. So, pardon? Baha'i, yes, Baha'i. So one of the fundamentals that I recognize in all of these things is that through the course of time, certain things have changed. But three things that I find I don't believe have changed. God is good, or God is love. Mercy is everlasting. And truth endures through all generations. I can find those three golden threads through any religion that I've embraced. And I've embraced a few. My sons asked me one time, why do you keep going to all kind of different churches? Okay? Because I was learning. Every time you turn over a rock, there's a little nugget of truth to be found. Every fundamental religious book will generally carry these three threads that I have found. Now, when you get into the dogma and a lot of the other stuff, sometimes we don't think we need all of that. And then there are some of us that truly, truly do. Okay? So what Spirit calls us to at this moment, Spirit might also lead us to something new and brilliant and sparking. Squirrel! Okay? At another moment. Okay? Ice cream man. Okay? Now, back in my childhood, I always go to my childhood because food was a part of my childhood. Okay? And ice cream was a part of my childhood. In our home, my grandmother or my aunt would make ice cream, and it was vanilla, and it was absolutely wonderful. Bluebell comes really, really close. You know my Bluebell. Well, anyway. So, but when the ice cream truck would come, they had lots of different flavors. Okay? They had other things. And then, of course, as we got older and stuff, we're going to the supermarket and we come out with all these other wonderful flavors. So then you not only have vanilla, then you got the chocolate, and then you got the strawberry with actual strawberries in it, with the seeds and all. Yeah, okay. And then you go, and Bluebell even has one of my favorites. It's like coffee flavored. I love that. I haven't found coffee flavored coffee out here, but then they don't have Bluebell, so kind of stop looking. Okay, so I'll find that sometime. Okay, but every now and then, religion, just like ice cream, gets a few nuts in it. We call that one Rocky Road. Okay? You know where I'm going. Come on now.
Marshmallow swirl through it. That's right.
And then they got one called Moose Tracks. It's full of just a bunch of boulders of stuff, So anyway.
Right.
But the thing that I think that we like about ice cream is it's cool and sweet. Now on your list, sweet is a really predominant taste in Ayurveda because the sweet taste, sugar, honey, those things builds tissues in the body. So the sweet things that we find in the religions build the stamina, build the spirit, build us up on the inside when we find that love and joy from socializing or gathering or becoming part of that creative consciousness, collective consciousness, okay? Then that's that sweet stuff that we like. Every now and then, unfortunately, some of us don't go to church because we've come across some of those things that are not quite so sweet, and maybe we met some people that were not quite so sweet, and we didn't feel all those wonderful things. It did not mean that that taste, whether it was bitter or pungent or astringent or salty or sour, was not necessary for the functioning of what I'll call the religion. So now while we may prefer the taste of sweet all the time, we can keep building these tissues, and building these tissues, and then we want to kind of unbuild some of these tissues, okay? And this is where the other taste comes in. So when you look at your list, we'll look at other tastes that kind of absorb some of the water out. And salty lubricates the tissues so you can keep moving. It keeps the body fluid. Astringent kind of dries some things out, tightens up the tissues. All of these tastes have a purpose in the same meal. So all of these things that we embrace or encounter or desire or think, not quite, they have a reason. And the reason will generally address our cultural beliefs. Okay, I don't like pickles. I don't eat pickles. Okay, no. So let me go back to my personal experience. Christianity overall was pretty much sweet, cool, creamy. That's the thing that I know most about. Okay, that's what I was raised on. That was the milk that I was raised on. Okay, so I'm good with Christianity. And of course, if you look at the stories, it had the astringent, the bitter, the salty, the sour. It's covered with, littered with the whole thing. Okay, read the Bible. You'll find it all. Beans, nuts, fruits, the whole nine. And hold it up to your face because you'll be amazed. It's like a mirror. I told my sons, remember when you're reading the Bible or any religious book, there are 3 things that pertain to God, and all the rest is your mirror. To see what is in the hearts of men and how we work our way through those things. Okay? So that's about Christianity. But another one that I favored was Islam. Islam brought me into that, further into that, deeper into that, because we pray 5 times a day. And sometimes I catch myself just doing the Al-Fatiha, okay, the first surah. And they prayed the word. They prayed the verses that were written in their Quran, okay? And I prayed the words that I found in the Bible. So it really resonated with me. It was really, really fine with me. And if it wasn't for the fact that I had a relationship with bacon, I might have stayed a little bit longer. So, it had some things, and I was like, okay, that's my limit.
What? No bacon?
Yeah. Well, now I understand they've got bacon-flavored ice cream and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going there. But I did go to Gilroy, and they had garlic-flavored ice cream.
Oh, yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, well, I'm not down on that one either. That must be another religion that I'll embrace later on. Okay, and then I have my darling friend is visiting with us today, who introduced me to, and the reason that I'm out here struggling with Sanskrit, I'm doing so much better with Sanskrit. I got mantras and everything. So, I do want to say thank you to my daughter Cherish and her darling Lakshman for getting me out here. And it's amazing how far I've come. This one came to me a few years back and said, would you go with me on a women's retreat? And I said, well, I guess. What kind of retreat is this? Because, you know, children go off into experimenting with things. And so I decided that I kind of probably needed to go with this little one, because ain't no telling what she was getting herself into. She is so adventurous. And right now, she'll call me and say, and I'll call her and I'll say, what are you trying to do, child? She knows that's the mama kind of thing coming out in me. So she invited me to this women's retreat, and while I was there, I tasted the food. I was watching the ladies prepare the food. And of course, some of you may have heard the story. When I asked, what is this? And they said, kitchery. And I says, well, what is this about vegetarian and all this kind of stuff? And they says, well, we eat Ayurvedically. I says, what is Ayurvedically? And so they told me about it. They showed me a book, and I turned the back of this book, and it had this picture of this Indian guy named Dr. Vasant Lad. And I don't know, something happened there. And I was drawn, and I wanted to be taught by this man. I wanted to understand this. About a week or so later, I got a book by Deepak Chopra called Perfect Health. And it was talking about doshas and constitution. Well, I recognized constitution because my great-grandmother kind of lived by that. There was a time I can remember she wasn't feeling too good, and my grandmother, who did the cooking, Allie, said, Mama, you want some, I'll say, beans and rice today? And she said, no, I don't think my constitution's going to tolerate that today. Mm-hmm. You better give me some this, that, or the other, you know. And so the menu was changed to fit the needs of the body, emotions, the spirit, mind, and body. Okay? And in Ayurveda, it's very, very philosophical, holistic health because you keep it balanced on a daily basis. You don't eat the same thing every day. You don't run up to the ice cream truck and get the same thing. Well, some of us do, but anyway, all the time. Okay, sometimes you might want a little nuts in it. Okay, you can deal with the seeds, just give me some strawberries. You want different things at different times. Your life path calls you to different paths sometimes. And whether it's Judaism or Christianity or Hindi or Buddha, or there is a oneness place that it's all bringing us to. And when we get to that place, we'll recognize the sweet coolness of the love of God, of being in love with God, of what I call worship. Now you mentioned COGIC, Church of God in Christ. This, in my past, was a very dynamic group.
Yes.
When you go to their church,
Yes.
you got the drums, the organs, and they every now and then they get to playing that music, and you just,
Right.
I'm telling
you know, there's all kind of wonderful videos about it. But what happens in those churches, they kind of let go and just get into that moment. And that's what I like about what I call church. It's that time of getting out of the rent that's due, the car note that's due, the person that I'm ministering to, or somebody else's business. I get into what I call my lane. Okay? And sometimes I take it all the way to the back. Every now and then you'll see me come right up through the front of this thing and then go back, because I want y'all on my lane. Okay? Because on my lane is the joy. On my lane is the worship. On my lane is the prayer through the movement. Okay? Through the energy, through that sweetness that's flowing through me. I'm building some tissues. I'm building some relationship with God. Okay? It's not about coming here for the food. The ice cream is good. We got a few things on the table in the back. But when you come here, folks, I need you to come here for that divine sweetness that you're only going to get when you have that relationship that you have with God. And I don't care if you're sitting in front of, what's the little monkey's name? I'm sorry. What's the little monkey's name? The little Hanuman?
Hanuman.
Okay, all right. You know, I have trouble with the statues and stuff. But I don't care if you're in the temple and the Hanuman things around there. When I go to Mount Madonna and I'm passing, I'm so ignorant. I say, hey, little monkey, because it reminds me of the happiness, okay, that when you go up those stairs and pass that little emblem, he's just like all out like this, and he's just like jumping for joy. That's what that means, okay? Or when I get in the still quietness of Buddha Zen meditation, and I'm thinking, when I get there in the quiet stillness, in the sweetness and the peace of God that calms down my nerves that's wreaking havoc on this physical body, that takes me away from all of these pressures that I got in my head that's telling me you need to be doing this and you should have done that, and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. When I say, take me away. Take me away. Take me over to that distant shore where it's still sweet and cool. Okay? take me to the water every now and then. Take me to the waters. Take me to the waters. Take me to the waters to be baptized. So let's talk just a little bit about baptism. When my son was going to be baptized, I had called him. He was in South Carolina. And I said, so when is your baptism? I need to know ahead of time so I can plan my trip. Sometime during the Easter Vigil. Well, their Easter Vigil was started on like Monday and then went all the way to Easter Sunday. So I get there on Thursday, and lo and behold, they had a ceremony that was going on, walking with the cross, which I had done in Louisiana for several years previous to. We walk with the cross for certain miles, and then we get to a place and we pray. And I love that. So it was wonderful to be there. And so he was walking in his white clothes right behind, the priest, bishop, whatever it was. And it was just so ceremonial and so wonderful. So when we got back to the house that night, it was Good Friday, and I said, well, honey, when is the actual baptism? I was thinking it was going to be sometime on Saturday, because they had services on Saturday. He says, oh, by the way, it's going to be on Easter Sunday. I was like, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the waters. Well, he had two friends. You remember the hyenas that was on Lion King? They would say, Mufasa, and they go, he had a couple of friends like that. They were sitting on the other side of the table. I was over the stove, and he just told me he was going to be baptized on Easter Sunday. And I said, do you have any idea the implications of this? How wonderful and important it is this. So his friends were like looking around going, dang, we call him BJ, but wow. Because when my son dresses in his white stuff and he has long hair, off a distance, he kind of looks like what we consider the picture of Jesus, okay? So we're talking about BJ here. And I said, well, baby, what you want me to cook you for dinner tomorrow? He says, I think I'm going to fast tomorrow.
Wow.
His friends like to broke their neck with their chins hitting their chest like, dude, seriously? Your mama is here from Texas. We know how good she can cook. You can't fast tomorrow. We need some mama cooking. And I says, yeah, I'm going to be all right. And I said, now, baby, mama got hormonal issues, so I'm going to need a little cup of coffee and a little something to eat first thing in the morning, and then I'll join you with your fasting. His friends kind of looked at each other under-eyed, and they're like, wow. Okay, dude, we're going to go as far as we can with you. But they supported him. So one of them looked at the other one and said, hey, when Jesus got baptized, wasn't it a dove that came and sat on his shoulder out the water? And the other one looked and said, yeah, but this is black Jesus. You reckon they got any black doves? I turned around and I said, quote the raven, nevermore. And went back to singing, Wade in the Water. So that was my story about that, and then of course we had the baptism and everything was wonderful, but when we're talking about baptism, I like to go over the mountain and put my feet in the water. Something about that coolness that brings me back to the sweetness, and I feel stuff just go out with that water. All right? Water is cleansing, whether it's astringent tears releasing some bitterness from the past, okay? Whether it's the saltiness that brings you to the brink of life, that pushes the brine, okay? You know what salty does? Pushes that flavor into the tissues, okay? Lubricating everything, okay? Water has its place. Our emotional lives are important. Cleansing our mental faculties, okay? Cleansing the tissues of the bodies. Lubricating, letting go. Keeping everything fluid, moving along. Okay? So there's baptism. There are so many symbolic, wonderful principles in all of the religions. Baha'i said unity. Bring everybody together. Okay? Buddha said go within. You got all the answers. Okay? Some of us get into the deities, and right now Kuan Yin is one of my favorites. Being compassion and allowing it to flow out of you. Okay? So, the next time you hear an ice cream truck in the neighborhood, think about it. What's my flavor? Do you want some plain old vanilla today? Just like Judaism says, you pray only to God. This is your covenant relationship. You don't need all that extra stuff. Go plain up vanilla today. Okay? Whether you want that little caffeine kick, okay, that might come from the COGIC, all right? Put that chocolate up in there. Yeah. Okay, say, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Or whatever it is. Because sometimes I get out on that water and I need to go early in the morning so the people with the white coats won't pick me up. All of it comes out. You would think I was a box of Rocky Road. What's your flavor? What's your flavor? What are you akin to? And I didn't get to talk about. My darling is here. Now this is the one y'all heard me talk about before because he's vegetarian. Now he's even gone vegan. I don't know how to make nothing for that y'all no more. And I think this comes from like probably Hinduism, but he's a really fine spiritual man. And he holds to his resolve, to his resolution, to what he knows. Okay? Now, you know, I ain't quite down with the vegetarianism. I'm going so far. And then you're going to give me a little piece of something. Because like tomorrow I'm looking for some barbecue, some beverages, and a beach. And anyhow. But these things bring us into relationship with others. And whether I embrace the beliefs or the fullness of that religion per se, it brings this love into my life that says, I purify this way. I recognize my body as this temple, okay, of love, God, peace, all these wonderful things. What's your flavor?
Bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Veggie bacon.
Oh, see, that's just sacrilege. The whole point.
First, okay?
Well, they made their additions to the table. They can eat with us today. We have plums and wonderful things, okay? I appreciate that. All of these gifts have been brought into my life so that when I'm sitting down with a person who's come for spiritual counseling, and I say, where are you spiritually? I don't have to bang them over the head and say, well, you need to be a Christian. Well, you need Jesus. Well, you got to do this and you got to do that. I can meet them right where they are. Okay? I can point them to someone who can help them on their journey. I can allow them, as I allow the Spirit to flow through me, to make their own path. It's all going to the same oneness, to that same sweet, cool place. I read a story in the Bible that said, and in the evening, Adam and Eve would meet God in the garden and go walking through the garden. You need to have that experience. If you need to get to the beach, get to the beach. If you need to get to the meadow, if you need to get to the top of the mountain, or if you just need to sit still in your car, all right? Or in your home. Have that flavor inside of you. Be aware of that flavor. Be aware of what your spirit is craving. Because when you feed the spirit, when you build those tissues, then you have everything you need. the stamina, the endurance, the willpower. He could probably tell you a lot more about it because he does fitness training, okay? You can pump them weights a little bit higher even though you're vegan. I don't know how you do that, but anyhow, I'm gonna let him have that part. But that's what he does, is his specialty. There's power in what you're craving. There's power in those flavors. Now in Ayurveda, you need all of these 6 tastes present in every meal. So you could use a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of Judaism, you could use a little bit of Islam, okay? What each of these represent in our life that bring us to that point where we're building the tissues, where we're getting the energy that we need, okay? Where we're getting the insights, the clarity of mind, okay? The power of body, and the adoration from the connection, the real power of spirit. And when you find yourself on a day that you want some rocky road, just recognize where you are. Call somebody if you need a little help. Don't eat the whole thing by yourself. Pay attention. What's your flavor? What's your flavor?
I just wanted to share something that I recently found out. Because Judaism is not just a male god. There is a feminine aspect to Judaism. And I heard this interview with Leonard Nimoy just recently. I showed it to Jan yesterday. Do you know that this symbol, live long and prosper?
Okay, yeah.
That is, fingers out like that. That is the Jewish letter, the Hebrew letter of Shem, which is for Shekinah. And when he brought up the live long and prosper in the Star Trek, he said it caught on so fast, and what people don't realize is every time you do this to somebody, you are blessing them with the Shekinah, feminine aspect of God
Wow,
energy.
wow, I love it.
How do we not wrap that? We can't make this stuff up, folks. So everybody start practicing. Yes, yes. Bring about the Shekinah glory of God. Bless everybody that you come around. Thank you. I didn't know where the conclusion was coming from. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. What's your flavor?
That was very, very hot.
Yeah, you can never